It's funny, for me, when I think of the Gazelle, it's not a soccer scenario. You know, it's skateboarding. For me, it's like purely like perfect flat sole, suede upper, toe cap. So, you know, it was really everything that skate shoes are now. It was all of that back then. And, you know, there was a lot of companies that were, you know, just expanding on the shoe model and making these ridiculously large silhouettes. And that was always just like a clean, easy shoe that you could skate in and chill afterwards, go out afterwards. And it was, you know, it was cool, it was clean. It would definitely hold you down with when you were doing stuff and when you were going out afterwards. Soccer culture in the US is just now starting to build, you know, like the World Cup last year, there was probably 60% more Americans watching the World Cup last year than there was before. So I mean, right now it's starting to pop. And you know, we had a viewing in the backyard of the store. We had every game. I got fully into it. You know, a couple of guys that work at the shop are really into it. But in America, soccer culture, you know, at least when the Gazelle was what it was and is what it is today still, but I mean, when it was really what it was, soccer culture in America wasn't anything bigger than like something you did when you were younger, something you played in high school, maybe you played in college, but that was kind of the end of it. You know, there wasn't a huge career in soccer in America. But yeah, I mean, indoor soccer shoes were always dope shoes. Like there was you know, your basketball shoes and your indoor soccer shoes were always kind of your cool, classic, simple silhouettes that you could, you know, you could break in, you could chill in, you could skateboard in them because they had the flat soles, you know. Gazelles were great to skate in. I mean, the first time I saw, you know, just a skate video full of Gazelles would have been like Love Child, World Industries. They put it out in maybe '93 or something, and you know, half the team's wearing Gazelles. They're the hardest shoes to skate in because the sole doesn't really grip very well. So, you know, any dude who could skate in Gazelles was dope. You know, he was a phenomenal skateboarder. But yeah, I mean, it's the coolest, cleanest shoe. I have a pair in the closet that I just keep in the closet that, like, if I'm not feeling the shoes I'm wearing that day, I can put on a pair of black Gazelles and I'm good. I mean, the reason most of these shoes stay around is because they either fit or fill a void, and at the same time, they resonate stylistically. So, you know, you've got the pump, which the 90s was all about technology. It was literally like a race to see who could come up with what first. And, you know, companies were, it was great back then because, you know, like the little guys that jumped into the game, the Elises, the Reeboks, all these guys that were a little later in the game to at least American footwear culture, you know, they were really making enough progress and, you know, nipping at the big guys' heels enough that everyone was kind of, you know, shooting to be the best, and everyone was really going hard with their research and development. So, you know, like the pump obviously was just such a technological breakthrough. You know, it was just so radical. It was something so new. It was never been done before. You know, it was just like, it was mind blowing. So that, anytime you really can like put a stamp on something that resonated so largely, like that's gonna remain a classic. Like something like that remains a classic. You know, like Reebok came up with this idea and everybody was trying to copy it. Nobody could really nail it down. Reebok held down the pump. Like they were the first to put it out there. And with Dominique backing the shoe, it was a phenomenon, you know? And it was an expensive shoe. And it was, the first model was almost a novelty in the sense that nobody really thought they could afford them at the time. You know, everybody wanted a pair, but nobody really thought they could afford them. Dunk contest, 1991, D Brown, final dunk, David and Goliath. I think it was him and Sean Kemp. It was like, you know, little guy versus big guy. D Brown, final dunk, right before he decides to run in and, you know, the no-look dunk that he threw down that everybody remembers, he reaches down and pumps the shoes. And that literally set the world on fire. So from that point forward, it wasn't like a shoe that you wanted to have, it was a shoe that you needed to have. As soon as D Brown put his little stamp on it, you needed the shoe. And then he got his own version of the pump, the D-Time, which was dope because on the bottom of the sole, it had like, you know, a little outline of D Brown doing the no-look dunk. And you know, Michael Chang, he got his Reebok pump as well. And we did a little collaborative effort with that shoe, with the tennis ball material. But yeah, the pump was what it was. You know, that shoe came out my first year of high school. And maybe 2 days before basketball tryouts, I sprained my ankle. And the neighbor 2 doors down had a pair of pumps. We wore the same size. He let me wear them for tryouts. I made the team. So, you know, I don't know. There was just something about that shoe for me. Like it was so high and my ankle was so messed up that it really like, it held me down. And it was a functional shoe, you know, like it would definitely protect you. It was definitely like a customizable shoe that was just, you know, it was so radical at the time. Like no one had ever really created anything like that. And then with the whole star power behind it with, you know, the Dominiques and then the D Brown, you know, that really kind of propelled it into, you know, almost a standard for Reebok at the time. The Clydes, the Gazelles, stuff like that is just, you know, it already was a classic before it had to become a classic, you know? It's one of those scenarios where you can put a pair of Clydes on, take a picture of you, and you can't tell when the picture was taken. Like the shoe never changed. You know, the companies didn't mess with the shoe very much. They kept it pretty cool. They kept it pretty similar. And it has a heritage, you know, like it had all those shoes have sporting heritage. You know, the Gazelle has its soccer roots, its deep soccer roots. The Puma Clyde has its deep basketball roots. So those shoes, outside of them just being stylistically dope and just clean and easy to wear, they have the sporting background, you know, where it takes the necessity of sport and it mixes it with fashion. And, you know, when you can nail the hammer on the head like they did with those, like they did with the Rod Laver, like they did with, you know, so many other styles, like that is what indicates and that's what remains a classic.
In my position, gotta stay on a mission. I'm an entrepreneur in this, I don't make no commission. The studio is where I'm sitting, posted up like prison. Tracks be hitting, cause I stay cooking like kitchen. So why do fools be tripping and say that I'm dissing? Cause I stay on the hustle for pay while y'all bitching. Listen, this is some game, but it's only a smidgen. Making music's my religion, I don't part with tradition. You find your own gift, stop the petty bullshitting. And if you say that you're not, you already bullshitting. I've been doing this since a teen till it came to fruition. From the bottoms, Inglewood, where niggas known for twisting. Fools for anything, niggas get cut like incisions. It's like a war, even if you ain't bloodin' or crippin'. That's why I stuck to what gives me my grip and put my chips in. Cause even college niggas gotta have their tuition. That's why I'm out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't be hanging with the homies all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't kick it with you pigeons all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't be hanging with the homies all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. Ladies, y'all drive me crazy with that stay home baby. Would you rather I have no chips and was flat out lazy, or staying at your crib eating the food that's your baby's? Can't even get me home for some dick till you pay me. Some of y'all like abuse, so was just raised that way. Me, I like a girl with juice who could pave the way. Fine, sexy, strong enough to brave today. The beautiful ones that's out there getting paid today. The kind that say I gotta work, I can't stay today. But soon as they off, they asking can we play today? I just can't fuck with bitches living day to day. Come and visit for a night and then you stay today. Everybody's a fool, but that song's played today. And if you ain't got your own, then you a slave today. Not to mention take the wrong niggas paid today, and you might end up in the motherfucking grave today. That's why I'm out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't be hanging with the homies all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't kick it with you pigeons all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't be hanging with the homies all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't kick it with you pigeons all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't be hanging with the homies all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't kick it with you pigeons all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine. I can't be hanging with the homies all the time. Out of sight on the grind, I'm out to get mine.